Very welcome, everybody, to our July edition of our partner roundtable. And I don't know if this accounts for a special edition or anything like that, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Um, Last month we had a partner spotlight, and we'll continue to have those. But Jimmy, we had a lot of people asking about product roadmap, lots of questions. We want to give a lot of time to that as we think about the next hour or so. Ali is on as well, I believe, and if Ali's there, we could just keep an eye in the waiting room for anybody that's joining along the way. Today is the MSP Partner Roundtable. It's your roundtable. Obviously, Jimmy and I are here today to help facilitate it. I definitely want to walk through a couple of things from a partner resource perspective, but I want to give a lot of time to product roadmap. We're 6 months into the year and just over, and it's a really good time to reflect back. So Jimmy's going to spend a lot of time on that as we look at it. So get your questions ready as well, and we'll hopefully have a bit of time at the end for any Q&A. It's the MSP community, and there's this very strong community. The questions, the comments, the feedback. We'd love to see that on this roundtable. We've got cameras on, which is great. A lot of friendly faces. We all learn from each other. So again, yeah, we benefit from your questions, but also folks in the call can hear what your perspectives are, which is good as well. So give me loads of time for all of that. Okay. With the lack of technical knowledge on my side, I'm going to get this poll launched towards the end of the session here, but I want to put it up front here just to so maybe to frame it for you. We're definitely eager, like what percentage of customers are actively asking about AI solutions today. Have a little think about that, but we want to get a good sense of the community. We want to share the results. We've seen a tremendous shift in acceleration. So again, want to maybe track that progress. And obviously, when you reflect back on your biggest blocker for selling AI right now, we want to take a look at that as well. So towards the end of the session, maybe Jimmy, before the Q&A, we'll just launch that poll, and might be helpful to reflect on it then. Okay, great. Good. We all set? Lovely. Jimmy, Ali, we're going to have a little look at the chat as we go through this. But there's probably a good friend on this call who has contributed this piece here. So, we're actively speaking with MSP partners with end customers, but we definitely wanted to flush this one out. It was an end customer that we met, I think 2 weeks ago now, with an MSP, and the CEO of the business, when asked how many people are using AI, he said probably 2 or 3, and he could name them within the company. And it was like a 40-50 user company. So what was very interesting, like the data tells the real story, doesn't it? The MSP got the DNS logs, ran it through HATS. We have obviously an application there to help provide a little bit more visibility. And it was stark, like the number of people in the organization, almost 80% of them, I believe, using AI and using a range of different services. So, this certainly wasn't a story that was told 6 months ago when, it was all a little bit more in its infancy, but it's moving very, very fast. And it probably sets us up to reflect back when you look at
and JP, let me just interject here on that for the first and only time. Just kidding. I'll probably interject like 100 times. I've seen partners, generate these reports in DNS filter, Cisco Umbrella, and then Zuris, which I think is also DNS filter. And they all sort of have the same filter where you can do DNS like application type and then AI tools. So it's a really powerful thing, especially if you're having a conversation about security, approved tools, AI policy, data sovereignty, data governance. It's beyond just are they training on the data, but also will people leave with the data if they leave the organization? Are they sharing the account with someone else? It's out of the purview of what you can support as the MSP if they're using personal accounts. So I just
Mm.
think like as MSPs have these security conversations, or it might be good to consider doing a review like this in your QBR, whether or not you pitch hats or an AI service in general, but just showing the visibility and the usage because a lot of executives at SMBs are completely unaware. They think it's like one or two people are using AI, and then you look in the DNS logs and it's like half the organization. Um,
Mm.
so like that, it's an easy thing to do. Most MSPs have access to this information, and it's worth taking a look even before you go to a client site meeting or something.
Yeah, great point, Jimmy. And we can touch on it later if anyone's any questions on how to actually find that in the platform. We can maybe just log in and show it. I know that Ali's on. That's great, Ali. Thank you. You know, you're working hard in the background getting some folks in. So we might hear from you in a moment. So again, we're a little bit over the mid-year mark, but some folks here have probably seen this before, but it's definitely one of the key messages we have, um, and the unfair advantage we have equally, Jimmy, is like we're seeing across a lot of different MSPs, the growth is exponential. We're feeling that every day at Hats, and it's a really good thing. You know, this, reflecting back to January was certainly early, and we were saying like, get ready, it's coming. It's now already here, and the MSPs that are moving fast now are definitely the ones that are becoming that default AI partner for their customers. Um, and we sort of walked through that a little bit, but that is happening now. And if anything, in the last maybe 6 8 weeks, end customers today are shifting very very quickly, it's moving from novelty AI to real practical use within an organization. So if you think about, and we got a lot of really great people on this call, you think about your own journey. Are you starting out in that as an MSP? Are you like up and running, or as they say, across the finish line? Forgive me with the running analogy. Once you start with it, you sort of have to continue here. But the starting line for any MSP that we partner with is really around using AI internally. As Jimmy said, it's hats. There's going to be lots of AI tools in your tool belt. We definitely have a playbook that allows everybody in your team access AI. Those that are gearing up the quickest are the ones that complete some of the education and certification. If you're familiar, and we can show this later if you wish, level 1 to 4 is a certification program that accelerates the adoption within the company. It gets people very familiar with AI in general, and then obviously some aspects of the HATS platform. There's MSP education there as well on how to add tenants and things like that. But that's the starting point. Yeah, from there, then there's branded sales decks and playbooks which we can touch on. But just to put it in one clean box, accessing hats, all the team using it. I see someone on the call who has definitely said many times to his employees when they come with a question, "Have you asked AI that?" Right? So like that's the sort of attitude the leaders are bringing to their internal deployments and moving very quickly. But assuming that's up and running and it's setting the right foundations, the initial recurring revenue that's available today. So remember, we're breaking the opportunity here into two stages. You have initial recurring revenue, meaning you can get these customers are today putting their credit card into Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT. They can be acquiring those services from you and getting them up and running. There's a dollar amount today that you could be building into your business. And to get started there, do they all know you can help on AI? Like, do all
Yeah, I think
know?
JP, I think this is a big one. Even if you're just getting started in your AI journey or getting started with us or an AI practice or curious or whatever it is, there isn't really a place to go that's solidified yet when you need help with AI. And I think most or all of the partners on this call have a goal of being the one that their customers and new customers go to when they need help with AI. So, beginning to position yourself or even letting your customers know that you can help them with AI adoption within their organization, whether that be access to tools or more formalized services, such as building out use cases, agents, automations, whatever it is, thinking about how you're getting the word out and letting people know and starting to position yourself if you're a business owner as a thought leader in AI is something that you can do in parallel as your team gets upskilled, as you build out the internal processes, all of that. So I just think it's important how everyone, over the past 10, 15 years became the go-to place for cybersecurity. While there's still a greenfield or a blue ocean, to overuse analogies, um, you know, plant your flag and let your customers know, like, hey, I can help with this, or we're building something internally, or if you need help with AI, you can call us and we could set something up. Because it's a big opportunity, and getting that in your customer's head or your prospect's head early and now is very important. Or they, go and do
Yeah.
something else or figure hire internally or something.
And you don't need to have all of the answers up front, Jimmy, right? So,
Yeah.
but getting the awareness. The second piece is, how do I get from that internal deployment to the landmark of the first 5 customers? We have a playbook that helps MSPs get to that landmark. Typically it's picking the high fit, their current customers, the ones you pick the phone up to and say, hey, we got this platform, we're using it ourselves. We support the kickoff calls. There's an onboarding checklist. As we scale out, there's office hours that we can support you as an MSP. The reason 5 is important, it accelerates the knowledge with your own organization around how to deploy the types of questions, and it really gets you ready for that next piece, which is scaling it. And quite often along the way, and we've seen this, internal AI champions pop up within your business, and it could be from the most unexpected places. But having one person that begins, helping your customers as they onboard, and like we talked about, pushing that then to the bell curve. Regardless of the number of customers you have managed right now, there'll be some outliers, but broadly speaking, there's a large swathe that you can then go. So the way we're seeing it map out over the last 6 months is internally, getting familiarity, but then quickly getting to 5 customers, and then it scales very quickly to 20, 50, and 100, depending on obviously the number of customers you have.
Can
So
I ask a
look,
question, JP?
yes, great.
Hey, this is Terry Cole. Sorry, I'm driving. Apologies for background noise. An ambition that I have had untested, I'd like to get y'all's feedback on just briefly with regard to an AI consulting practice within our MSP. I have perceived the AI consulting as a potentially much higher value, differentiated service.
It's
That might warrant a significantly different billing structure, separate from the other typical MSP stuff. Uh, do you guys see that as being a valid
it's as if
premise?
it's as if you've seen the next piece, Terry, which you're 100% correct. And Jimmy might add to this, that that additional consultancy service, the additional help, moving up that value chain, Terry, is what will come next. You get them started, number one, get them on the platform, allow them to use it, test it, develop out their own capacity. But the MSP will be leaned on then afterwards for more advisory services. And we're seeing that happening now with And that could be in the guise of having more capacity within the platform itself, but it's more often going in as a billable rate to advise on use case ideation or how to maybe configure their use cases, developing more and acting as that additional. And it ties back, and Jimmy, you can jump in if you like here, ties back to the core thesis that MSPs are the ones that'll be helping their customers build, configure, deploy AI agents in their environment.
Yeah, and I think too, like some things we've learned along the way, is if you like I've seen people structure it differently on just either blocks of hours or packages for a strict scope of work, or even recurring services with set SLAs on what like how much work they'll do. Just make sure, because AI, you can always go back and tweak, you can always go back and change. You set hour caps or hour limits, even if you're flexible with them. I think it's something that can really save you as a consultant or with business advisory services, just in general. You might do the first one or two engagements, and you might go way over on them, and as you're sort of figuring it out, and you'll quickly learn and set those. Okay, this is the scope of work with up to 20 hours, right? Or whatever it is. um, uh, but like longer term, you want to solidify that package, and it just there's not many places that people can go to for help with this stuff. So don't be afraid to charge for it, and don't be afraid to stick out a number that maybe is among the highest of your services, or what you might use for like a vCISO service or something like that, or even higher, just to flesh out the people who are serious to get started.
Mm.
Thank
And
you.
I think
The one slight follow-up question is: do you see differentiating this within the scope of an existing managed service practice where I'm already the go-to for everything, but this AI thing, would you speak to potentially differentiating AI consulting within the scope of an existing service where maybe they just expect this to be part of the package?
Yeah,
The AI consulting, that is.
I would just be really upfront about how you're doing it. So like what I've seen be successful is, part of our software managed package, which might be like, plugging in hats and doing some initial setup, and maybe there's an onboarding fee or something like that. You get this, and this is what you get. And you might do like some workshops as part of it, some training as part of it, whether in person or not in person, and just define that scope early, so you're not getting all you can eat customers calling the help desk asking for tweaking this, tweaking that. And define what's out of scope early too. So use case development, agent development, ongoing tweaking, that kind of stuff. You might want to say, look, we charge X dollars an hour typically, with engagements starting at Y dollars, and just be upfront about it. And you might help them anyway, or you might include a couple of tweaks, or a bit of help each month in your service package. But you don't want to sign someone up for your existing all you can eat IT service package, and then they're calling your help desk every day asking you to tweak an agent for them because they're learning AI and you're learning AI and something new came out. You want to make sure you're charging an appropriate dollar amount for those services. So in summary, I think they can absolutely be meshed together and embedded, but you should be upfront about what's not included and what's a additional SKU or an additional product that they can buy from you.
Great. Thanks, Jimmy. And look, again, regardless where you are in the journey, like, it's defining that now. So is it that you're testing ads, having a little look? Have you added your team right through to how do we get to 5 customers? And there's we'll speak about that in a moment. And once you get to 5, and there's partners on this call we might invite back soon to speak to that scale. That's what we're seeing. It's exponential. The clock is running out. It's time to move fast. So in the spirit of like getting from that, internal deployment, you might have tested and validated, added your team. We want to announce today that between now and the end of this week, we're going to help customers get to that 5 mark, that beachhead. You'll be able to pick the phone up to 5 customers that you know very well and help them activate a starter pack. To help you with that, we're going to apply a credit so that there's no payment in August. But I want to give you that opportunity now for those that are already, up and running, but want to get to that. It really, really accelerates everything just to add those customers, and you'll walk them through the playbook, and we'll help on all of that. I'm going to show you later, if we have a bit of time, where you're going to see pricing and packaging in the platform and how to do it, and we'll touch on that. There's many people here that have gone way beyond 5, and actually folks in this call have done what we call bulk deployments. So if you haven't already got information about those, you can reach out to me directly. That's basically a situation where you'll be able to bulk deploy across 20, 50, 100 customers, and we can have advantageous billing arrangements for you to sort of incentivize those deployments. So it's up on your screen. End of, was it Thursday? Just go into the platform, go get 5 packages, and we'll make sure to help you along the way. You can reach out to me directly as we look at all of that. Maybe Jimmy, I'm just beginning to finish up here, and I think I definitely want to bring in Ali here a little bit, because we've got Mark Leeper, who does an amazing job helping our customers on well-deserved break at the moment. There's lots of areas we help in AI in the box, the go-to-market, onboarding. I'm probably the a point of contact on all of that. But I'm going to take this screen share down for a second, and it's easy. Ali, and you can speak to this if you wish. I'm going to probably show here the first off, Ali on? You there, Ali?
I'm here. Hi.
There we are. Always. Ali, can you speak to this for a little bit? Like, we got I think I was thinking, like, if there was one thing that you could pick out, would be docs.help. Like, where's the one place people can go? And if you can speak about, we got Mark Leeper on a little bit of leave, but we actually have Lark Meeper, our chat agent. If you can speak to that a little bit and the support arrangements, that'd be super helpful for a second for anyone that doesn't know what it is.
Sure. So for anybody who hasn't chatted with Lark Meeper, as JP is demonstrating here for us, Lark is our AI chat agent that is here to help you with all things hats. We load all of our documentation into here. This has access to the transcripts from all of the training videos, any release notes that we put out, pretty much anything hats related, anything we would maybe reach out to JP or Mark about, there'll be access here. There's no information about pricing or anything like that. Nothing that, should be protected just for partners. But for, your basic, how do I set up a tenant, or why something may not be working, Lark is a great place to go. If Lark is not giving you the answer that you need, he will then log a support ticket that we have access to see here at HATS. So whether it be myself, Jimmy, someone from the engineering team, JP, Mark, Kelsey, everyone can see what comes in through Lark. So somebody will be here at all times, hands-on, ready to pretty much help, as long as you're doing business hours, and we'll direct to whoever we need to direct to. So we love Lark. We love the little beep that comes in from Lark. Everyone hears it in the office, and right away, just excited to see what we can do. So feel free to explore docs at HATS AI. Like I said, there's a ton of really good documentation in there. And then also feel free to chat with Lark until you can actually chat with Mark when Mark gets back.
Ali, thank you. Great to put for those who haven't met Ali, a face to the name as well, who is definitely a good point of contact with all of the engineers as well. So Jimmy, over the over the last couple of months, I guess you've taken the platform and the company on a journey, and be good to hear from you a little bit about that. I'm not going to share my screen yet, because a key component of that journey is like integrations and accessing data, and so probably want to pull you back a little bit here, and it'd be good for folks to hear from you, like the direction of hats, where we are now, and then I'll share my screen when you're ready to talk about maybe integrations and what all that looks like. Or you can share the
Yeah,
screen, but yeah.
yeah, I can share the screen. Yeah, I mean, for those of us who've been here for a while, we're still following the same North Star that we've set out since the beginning of the year. And that is, building out workflows, adding more integrations, adding agents, and then eventually tying it all together and allowing agents to sort of run workflows. And that's how you get to sort of an AI employee, right? Where an agent can run these business processes that you've tweaked and can integrate with all your tools and all of those things. So I'd say we're about 75% along that journey. We still have some work to do around agents, making sure that they can access all the tools and run workflows and triggers and that kind of stuff. And then the integrations is a big piece of it too. So, I've spoke about it before, we've done the work internally to make it so we can add lots of integrations very quickly. And we've done some initial testing, and you've probably seen some of our integrations that have come out, such as Outlook or HubSpot. And, now we are sort of in a position where we understand what works well, what doesn't, what we can press go on, that kind of stuff. And so we're going to release two big things in August. Well, we're going to release lots of big things in August, but two related to integrations. So I'll just share my screen here. We are happy to announce a new holiday. Oops, where is it? A new holiday called Integration August. I don't know if it'll happen again next year, but it's happening this year. Where in 31 days in August, we're going to release 31 integrations in the month of August. So I'm going to quickly pause the recording because we are not 100% finalized on what will be released. But I can give a preview of what we're thinking. That was screen sharing. Gave it a little more context so it could run it right. So you can do this, today. It's available. You can edit, you can change the model, all of that, right within the chat. With agents too, if you make them, you can load them right in your model selector. So, I have an agent called Search and Marketing GPT. That is all available for integrations too. I think just how you get to them, you go to your workspace and then the integrations tab, and you'll see sort of like integrations that are available. You can add new ones or configure existing ones. So we'll add a lot more, and we're actually going to make it even easier to add integrations in our workshop reskin, which I'll show. But to build agents, you go in, you've got agents that you've built, create new ones. I can edit the ones that I have, um, change the instructions similar to what you would do in ChatGPT, add tools, add files as sources. So it has additional context, all of that, and being able to select the model that it uses, all of that available in the workshop. I'll show quickly too how you can generate the LMS report. So I'm in tenants, and then I select into a specific tenant. And if I go to adoption, there's a button now or generate LMS report, and you probably can't see it, but a spreadsheet popped up with the report on who's done trainings and all of that. So makes it very easy to do. I think it's people are probably curious about like what's what's coming, so I'll show a bit more of that. So I will start with groups. Give me a second here. Okay. So you'll be able to, oops, this is not the right one. I'll show this anyway. All right, so this is what our new workshop is gonna it's gonna look something like this. Um, you'll see that we're gonna redo the sidebar to make it a lot easier, and then we're gonna unify automations, agents, and workflows, so they're not sort of separate things. They're just all in one, and you can select between them. Um, we're going to add a discover tab too. People have asked for things like, what is most used, what was recently created. We're adding that functionality over the next month or so. And then being able to go into sort of things that are private to you or things that are, that you created, and filter by visibility, see your favorites, see your run history. So just a much cleaner navigation for all of this. We're also adding the ability to create groups. So these would be like groups within an organization. Think the marketing team, the development team, the whatever team. And then you as an MSP can create them in the MSP admin dashboard, or client admins can create them. And then once someone is an administrator of a group, they can add members and sort of all of that stuff that you'd expect. So you'd be able to share automations, workflows, agents, etc., with groups. So when you think as an MSP, you build something for a specific company and then a specific team in a specific company, you'd be able to do all of that through the admin dashboard. So, we're going to add some more analytics too, like recent activity and that kind of stuff. And then being able to see what automations are made specifically for for the groups that you're a member of. And then, we had called my automations, which originally, if you're an OG Hats partner, like Milton mentioned, he is in the chat. It's just you didn't have private ones; it was just for the entire company. So we're going to change the name finally from My Automations to Company, uh, which I think is a much better name and more descriptive of what it actually is. And then we're adding integrations into Workshop directly as we add more. So you'll be able to go and connect them and add them right in there. So that is a quick review of what we released in the past month, not counting anything in June, and then sort of what's coming over the next 30, 60 days. We know what's coming in as far as integrations, but everything else, we hope to get as much out as we can next month. But things move around as they do in dev cycles, and mostly QA cycles too. Security review and QA cycles is where things get held up, to be completely honest.
And I guess, Jimmy, a good place for everyone to keep abreast of what's going on. We have Feature Friday. Guess what day it's on? And we'll send a link to that as well. So that's a good place to pop on. Get as Jimmy said, typically every Thursday there's a release. Ali, it might also be a good place for us to maybe concentrate some time on things like, I see questions about the phone agent. Maybe we can, and you can speak to that now if you want, but like we can look at having dedicated time on that, or the AI agent. So again, feature Friday, the office hours, a month is like, a long time in AI world. Jimmy, I'm really curious about what our partners think on two questions. We talked about our poll. I know we're coming to the end of this session. It'd be really great if you just spend a second, folks, thinking about what percentage of customers are actively asking about AI today. We're curious when we think about such a great bunch of people here, what you're seeing. And then your biggest blocker to selling AI. We're aligned with you guys, right? So we want to understand what the biggest blocker is. We focus time and effort to unblock those. And while that's happening, and we'll share the results in a second, Jimmy, just a little breeze through the comments here. I'm not sure if you're looking at them as well, or questions. If there's something there that pops up, you want to answer, you can speak to it. I think you covered
Okay,
a
I
lot.
think Ali got through a bunch of these.
I did notice, Jimmy, we put the link to our feature request, and people were filling that out because it hits everyone on the team. It's a really quickest pathway, right, to get your
Yep.
feedback in.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe I'll just end this poll. I'm afraid to lose the results here, but from what I see, almost 50% of customers are actively asked about AI. That's a big number, 50%. What's your biggest blocker to selling? 25% customers don't understand value. Yeah. 27%, we haven't built enough internal confidence yet. So again, using it internally is going to help. Unclear about pricing, packaging. We could, not so many people there, but we're going to definitely spend time understanding that together, so you're clear. Use cases, Jimmy, that comes up. Like, we got integrations now, lack of real life use cases. I think we can all work together to articulate the value. You did a great job just now on HubSpot, but there's one or two there on that. But yeah, the largest number is we still haven't built enough internal confidence yet. Closely followed, if it was a race, by customers don't understand value. Okay, that's great. Share results. Maybe this is going out to everyone now. Okay. Not sure if you can see it.
All right. Well, this was great, JP. I think we might have some offline follow-ups with people. And I know Ali and JP have been taking notes along the way, but I wanted to thank everyone for their time as we wrap up, and look out for more updates as we go. Subscribe to our Canny board to get our recent releases directly in your email as soon as they're released. And thanks for being a partner. Blessed to be on this journey with you all.
Well done, Jimmy. Thank you.
Thanks.